Well, on today's program, I'm pleased to welcome Dustin Arnheim. He's the Vice President of Sales and Customer Experience with the City of Baltimore. Hello, Dustin. How are you today?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you and to talk about your city, which I'm sure you're proud of.
Very much so. And thanks for having us on today.
Yes. Well, let's get started officially. Tell us about your city. Why should people visit Baltimore?
Great question. Although we want people to be able to answer that for themselves. So more people need to come to Baltimore, but so many great reasons. If you're a foodie, we've got an amazing food scene. I didn't grow up here in Baltimore, but personally, crab cakes have always been a favorite. Love fresh seafood. And it's cool that if you love being around the water, so many of our attractions, restaurants, hotels are on our waterfront property. So that's a great experience. And I think Baltimore truly is an authentic destination. We are rich in history, culture. We've got unbelievable neighborhoods, lots of talented artists and makers. You'll see that in a lot of cities, but really when you come to visit Baltimore, it's much more part of the experience as you walk through the destination. It's pride
I've
of our
been to
city.
Baltimore many times, and not just at the airport. I've actually come into the city. I've had crab cakes, and I can't name the restaurant, but there was a really good one by the convention center that was fantastic. So, well, I look forward to coming back. Let's talk about GBAC STAR facility accreditation because that really is one of the programs you're using to bring people back to Baltimore. What brought you to GBAC STAR accreditation?
Yeah, thank you. It was really in March when the pandemic started. Al Hutchinson, our president and CEO, and I were having a conversation of how can we be a better resource to our community, to our stakeholders, and specifically our members. And part of that conversation really was based upon recognizing that we needed to really help educate and provide the tools and resources for best practices on cleaning and disinfection. And the goal there is that we knew at some point we're going to have to get these small business employees feeling safe to return to work. That was for our partners, and that selfishly was for Visit Baltimore ourselves. And so we did a little bit of research to figure out what opportunities were out there. Our second priority was also selfishly making sure that the customers of these small business owners and attractions felt comfortable visiting Baltimore and safe within these facilities. So one, we had to take care of the local people and our employees, and then two, the visitors to our city. So we actually did a little research and found that some destinations were doing promises and commitments, which we felt were great and they're important, but we were looking for something a little bit more actionable. And so we had heard of another destination that was in conversation with ISSA in regards to the GBAC. And we fell in love with it quickly because we felt like it was more science-based. In speaking with the team, we really appreciated the fact that the science was coming from a board of experts with experience at the CDC and World Health Organization. And so that gave us the confidence and wanting to move forward.
Well, that sounds interesting. And really, the city's taking care of its own by doing everything you just described. Thinking about the GBAC STAR facility accreditation, how many buildings in the city are impacted by what you've done?
Yeah, once our most recent applications are approved, which we feel confident they will, we'll have over 40 facilities GBAC STAR accredited. And we're hopeful that within the next couple months, that number will top 50. So we're really pushing to get as many facilities in Baltimore accredited. We'd love to have them all, but we know that that's not realistic. So what we did was we focused on the top customer journeys throughout the city and have done our best to make sure that all those major facilities, whether it's transportation hubs, including BWI Airport, we've even explored rail service and our water taxis to the hotels, the convention centers, restaurants, and top attractions, that those all are accredited. And we've done a really good job I'd say nearly all of our partners have been on board and are, if they're not already accredited, are working to be. The other thing that that I wanted to highlight is that we wanted to also take care of not just the big facilities, but our smaller mom and pop businesses, because those businesses are what make a destination so unique, and they were struggling enough during this pandemic. So with the help of some CARES Act funding, we've helped supplement the accreditation process for these small businesses, and that really went a long way in our community.
Yeah, that sounds great, and they appreciate that, I'm sure. Here's another question. Thinking about a post-pandemic period, we all talk about the pandemic. What about post-pandemic? How will this accreditation benefit Baltimore then?
One word: confidence. Our community will have more confidence to come back to work, and our visitors will have more confidence that our community is taking this seriously. There's a lot of cities out there that are having their convention center GBAC accredited, most cities, but we feel like it's a differentiator that we're doing that whole customer journey. And so we hope that that brings even more business to Baltimore in the remainder of 21 and the coming years in 22 and 23.
Sounds good. So Dustin, my last question is, if you're having a conversation with someone in another city, another destination, they're trying to do what you're doing, and they ask you, should we do GBAC STAR accreditation for our city? What would you tell them?
I'd say absolutely, and you're crazy if you don't. I guess it's my belief, whether it's COVID or the next round of viruses, the world's changed. Our society is more focused to health, safety, cleanliness, and disinfection, definitely much more than ever before. And so we all need to do our part and be mindful of the value of implementing these standards. And so it's been a great experience working with the GBAC team. They've always been extremely accessible, and it's been very much a partnership approach and trying to get our partners up to speed and accredited. So it's been a great experience.
Well, Dustin, thank you for sharing your thoughts today on the accreditation process and how it benefits Baltimore. And look forward to visiting your great city one day soon.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having us on today.